Hello and welcome to another episode of My Backstage Pass. This is your host, Lee Zimmerman, and I'm here with my producer and buddy and co-host, Billy Hubbard. And today we're especially excited to have as our guest Mr. Cruz Contreras, sitting right here with us today. Hi, Cruz.
Yeah. Howdy, afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. You're another hometown Maryville boy, so I feel the kinship, I feel the bond, and we're just delighted to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, I plowed through the wind and rainstorm.
Yes.
Had a free car wash along the way.
Yes, and you made that sacrifice. It was a little scary. The weather is...
Wow. I actually passed a lot of trees down on the way here. It's
really
kind of gnarly out there.
Wow.
Not kidding. I don't know if a tornado came through, but...
They were warning, They were,
a lot of trees and limbs. And
it was a lot of beep, beep, beeping on the radio. This is a weather alert from your, beware. So thank you for being here. And I got to say, Cruz, Thank you for lunch. Folks, rock stars, you never know.
I stood out in the cold and rain for your cheeseburger.
It was unbelievable. So you stand out for so many things, Cruz. But politeness is certainly up there. You're a very polite rock star.
I try. My dad was Marine.
Really?
Or actually, I believe once a Marine, always a Marine. And manners were a thing growing up in our house.
Really?
Yeah, it was a thing.
I can tell. I can tell. You have the gene. You have the gene.
It rolls deep.
Yeah. Well, you have, first of all, you have the talent gene because... You've had a spectacular career. I shouldn't say had. You still do.
I'm just getting started.
You're just getting started. You just put out your first solo album.
Yeah.
And it's getting very, very good reviews, rave reviews.
Thank you.
And, you're moving forward now. You're moving into another sphere.
I am. Yeah, it's been a big shift recently. Cosmico came out back in September. And I toured a bunch last year, and I'm actually, this time of year things slow down a little bit, and then I'm focusing on home and family, and we have a 17-month-old son at home, and my oldest is 19, and Ella's 7.
Oh,
so
good spread.
Yeah,
we're figuring this thing out. Molly and I it's kind of the potato sack race mentality, like tag in, tag out.
Mm-hmm.
And we were actually this morning we're on a Chat GPT asking it questions to solve all the answers to our life. Like, how do we organize this chaos into a productive, well-oiled machine?
And it gave you the answers. It gave Wow.
It's pretty comparable.
Really?
Maybe better.
Wow, man. I knew a guy once that was he was a big guy. I don't want to say his name, but he was a Grammy winner, and he was at a record company, and he said that he would fire anyone that asked him a question that they couldn't ask Google. So,
all right.
What?
Yeah.
I guess it sort of makes sense.
That's the thing now. It's like, don't ask me, go ask Google.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
Well, I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying.
I'm still old school. It's still confusing. Mm-hmm. I was joking with Molly. I was like, that back in my day, that was plagiarism. You get kicked out of class for that.
Yeah.
You used to have to come up with your own ideas and your own words. And if you wrote a good paper, you were rewarded and you felt good and you get a little applause and yay and feel good about yourself. Now, whatever.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but you're right. That could be used for your homework. Wow.
Yeah, that's
kind of weird.
It's all changed.
Wow.
Everything's changing.
Yeah.
Fast.
I mean, I remember being in school, you'll be in math class, and you didn't have calculators. I thought when they let the kids have calculators.
Okay, that was the beginning. They let the machines into the room.
God, that's incredible.
Yeah,
wow. So getting back to the subject at hand now, you have the album out. You've gotten some fantastic reviews. You're starting on a new solo phase of your career, shall we say?
It's a lot more nuanced and probably complicated than that. And I tend to make this up as I go. what's next. I focus on whatever project I'm in. And like I just mentioned, we were talking about Eric Baker, Knoxville artist, friend of mine. I'm producing his record. So tomorrow I'll head over to Nashville, and this weekend I'm producing his upcoming record, and we'll be working through March. So I've got my producer hat on. I get in the van next week and I go to Texas, and I'm playing Lukenbach. I'm playing the Kenny Store. Where else? I'm losing track right now. I'm playing in Houston, and then I'll be recording in Austin with Jonathan Tyler.
Wow.
So
cool.
I have to switch hats a lot. So I don't think of myself, I suppose I do think of myself as a solo artist now, but that includes playing with a band, and I have a band, and probably half of my shows are that. And then a kind of a nice breakthrough that I made here recently is that I'm booking my summer tour, and I'm going to bill it as Cruz, Contreras, and the Black Lilies, which is
now. Are there Black Lilies involved in this?
There are, yeah. So I mean, technically speaking, half of the band is original Black Lilies.
Wow.
And
cool.
Two of the guys that I play with, I started playing with in 2020 and then 2023. So it's for creative purposes, it's awesome, because if you have a group of people that have started together and are always on the same point in their journey, everybody knows the same thing.
Yeah, make it a lot easier.
If I'm the old timer and I've been there for how many years, and I got a guy that started with me 9 years ago, and I got a guy that started with me 4 years ago, and everyone's brings something different to the table, and it allows the project and the music to keep evolving. So, it's kind of just the way it worked out, but it's been a really nice kind of blessing for
So the Black Lilies are still kind of front and center in a way.
I'm kind of just going to feel it out when touring out west is something I do every summer. And there's a lot of demand for the band out there, and it's how do I differentiate between being a solo artist and a solo artist with a band? It's like, well, the Black Lilies are my band. This is the perfect way to do it. It's kind of what it's always been.
Great.
We did take the hiatus in 2019, and then COVID happened and everything hit the fan. So it's been a lot to reconsider, but I'm pretty excited about it to get that back out there. We'll certainly go bring up some of the old material and then start looking at, recording new music as the Black Lilies here in the future.
Cool.
Okay, that's great to know, because the Black Lilies, I mean, those albums were terrific. So to keep that association and to establish yourself at the forefront of that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, I definitely have kind of let it sit dormant for a while, just thinking, I don't know, we'll see. But by the time the idea occurs to you, it's pretty much time to do it.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
Built the brand already, man.
Yeah, the brand is there. So we're going to do it. The songs are there. The songs are mine, and I'm singing them anyways.
Yeah.
So when you went in to record the new album, you did not have the Black Lilies connected with you when you did that. This was truly your first solo album.
So it's pretty interesting. I recorded this in 2019, which is now a long time ago.
Yeah, 5 years almost.
It's a long time.
Wow.
It's bizarre. So this is a completely unique situation for me. And I recorded it the last year touring as the Black Lilies. And I thought that I could do both. I'm like, what's the big deal? I'll make a solo record. We got the band, rock and roll.
Yeah.
And mid-year, it's ironically, as I was beginning the process to record that solo record, figuratively, the wheels kind of fell off the operation, and the writing was on the wall. So we agreed to fulfill our obligations, play through the end of the year, and go out on the best terms possible, which we did. And the recording process went amazing. I worked with Ethan Ballinger and Megan McCormick, both Nashville-based. Ethan plays with Miranda Lambert, and Megan plays with Jenny Lewis.
And she's an artist in her own right.
Yeah, they both are. They just are super magic. So we did a bunch of pre-production writing sessions, one in Cookeville, Tennessee, Portland, Oregon, Northern Idaho, and recorded that fall of 2019. And that part of the process went really smoothly, like eerily smoothly.
Wow.
And then by the end of 2019 and, COVID right around the corner, everything changed really fast. So, and then I had to deal with coming to terms with the business side of things with the band as well. So you kind of add all that together, and I got married in 2020, and then I moved back to Maryville.
Yeah.
And it's taken a while to figure out how to release the record. And so we self-released, but it took a lot of time. There's a lot of behind the scenes challenges.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
I was listening to it, but one thing I thought was cool, I was looking at your songs, none of them were under 3 minutes, which I liked. I hate to
I'm with you. The first Black Lilies record, Whiskey Angel, the last thing I really ever thought about was the length of a song, and I love it. I think there's a song that's 2 minutes and there's a song that's 7 minutes. And I loved the variety in the shape and forms of the songs.
Yeah.
The farther you go, the more you get managers involved, people with opinions who think everything has to be 3 minutes for a radio thing. It's so dumb.
Oh, yeah.
It's so annoying. I've dealt with it for so long. It feels dumber every time I hear it.
I do too.
It's like, has that ever worked for anybody?
Yeah.
No. And if you find yourself in a situation where you need to edit your song down because it's so popular, no problem.
Yeah.
Go do it. Why would you not just make the best music and the best song and the best record?
Right. And it takes me a while to get in the groove. I like a long song,
Yeah. So, and some of that probably is different generations of music fans. Now people love attention spans are short.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Attention spans are very short, and that's a problem, know.
Storyteller, songwriters. Oh man, it's hard to tell a good story in 3 minutes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
definitely back to Ethan and Megan. They, as far as the lengths and forms of the songs, they were definitely interested in keeping the listener on their toes.
Yeah.
So the songs never quite go exactly where you think they're going to go, or you think it's going to go back and it doesn't. And we just took our time with them, the tempos and the lengths.
Well, a lot of that, in my opinion, has to do with the arrangements and the ambiance of that album. Mm-hmm. It's got a sound to it, and it's cerebral in a certain respect.
It is.
Really mesmerizing. I guess that's the word.
Yeah, there's a lot of heart and there's a lot of brain in this record as well, and they're both working together. And it's a smart record. I love it that when I listen to it, I'm not thinking, "Oh, that was a great guitar solo," or "That was a great pedal steel lick." No, it's sound.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a wall of sound.
Right, exactly.
And there's so many layers. And when I have the opportunity to listen to it, I always hear something new.
Wow, and you're the one that made the record, and you're discovering things.
Depending on kind of state or how focused I am or what I'm doing in that moment.
So when you were conceiving these songs, writing these songs, now you were writing for your soul voice. I mean, you were always at the helm before, but now you're writing really for you. So was that a different mindset now?
It was so I think, sometimes when you write, you might write in reaction to something. And I knew this was my chance to make a solo record and what do I want to say? And, there are a lot of reoccurring themes in the record, and a lot of it has to do with change. There's a song called Breaking a Habit and Breaking Patterns. And I was at a point in my life where I was starting to be on this treadmill and go through these motions and not get the results that were gratifying or satisfying or I was happy with. And honestly, I didn't know how to get out of it. I didn't really even know maybe what I wanted, but I knew I didn't want to be doing it anymore. So it was okay, just stop what you're doing.
Wow.
And that is a theme. That was definitely one of the underlying themes.
It sounds like it was really a catharsis of sorts here. I think, a lot of singer-songwriters, they put out their feelings and make themselves very vulnerable through the music. and at the same time, save a lot of money in therapy. Because,
amen. I try to explain this to everybody. Tells me to go to therapy.
You don't have to.
For all the year, I drink very little these days, but I definitely used to drink in excess to cope and deal and process, or not process, and I'm out. And I always said, if you got a guitar and you can write songs and you've got friends and you've got good drinking buddies, like, I'm in therapy all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not advocate. I don't want to glamorize that or advocate for it, but that was my approach. And I was like, well, at least I'm going to have something to show for it. And it was songs, and music. So different space now, trying to create from a healthy, much healthier standpoint,
Well, I think there's something to be said of having community and having a bond. I mean, let's face it, in the world we're living in, there's a lot of disconnect and a lot of separation and a lot of antagonism. So to be able to grasp that feeling of community and bonding, that's a great thing.
Yeah, and it's funny. I didn't realize, when COVID happened and the shutdown happened, and I could no longer go to work. I could no longer make a paycheck. I could no longer have connection with people. There's so much connection in music, especially when you're playing festivals and you're part of the circuit and a community and a very generally often very spiritual experience. If you're on stage and you're kind of communing with the environment and the fans and you're very connected.
Yeah.
To the universe.
Right.
Totally. Mm-hmm. And when that disappeared, there definitely was a moment where I was like, maybe I need to go to church. Nah.
So it's worked out very well for you. You've made a very distinctive album that really defines you as you are now, and
thank you.
That's an accomplishment in itself. I mean, you have a very storied career anyway. You've evolved over the course of your career now. So to be able to make a record that is such a milestone and is so definitive,
I feel like I hope my hope for it is that it's a solid foundation. And I'm proud of it on a just a quality level of craftsmanship and the attention that was given to it and the talent that was shared in that record. Like, I'm proud of it. I don't want to say I don't care if anybody ever hears it, but the thing that I really needed out of it was to just know that I could do that and I could be part of a team that could create that and just give myself that confidence to move forward. And it's when people do hear it, it just kind of it saves a conversation.
Yeah.
I'm going to work with Jonathan Tyler down in Austin, and we're talking and about doing some recording, and I can send him that record, and you just get a short response. People are like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
he's gonna show up."
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool. That's terrific. We should maybe we should hear a song from that album here. Time Stood Still for one. That's particularly striking song. Do you want to intro it at all, Cruz? Or
this one, good. Oh boy,
you don't have to.
This is one of my favorites for a few reasons. One is I'm playing. So on the record, I play a lot of keys and synth type sounds. This one in particular has a sort of the 80s pop synth, which brings me back to my childhood days and listening to pop radio and Casey Kasem's Top 40 and that whole world. And it also was just kind of a sort of a departure, writing in a different lyrical style that I allowed myself to place to go, a little bit away from just the country bluegrass world. And, even though the Black Lilies are known as an Americana group, if you break it down, I grew up playing country and bluegrass. So it's kind of like I'm writing country and bluegrass songs, and then we're just putting a Southern rock mountain band kind of around it.
Sounds great, though.
But So this has been definitely like a step, of musical growth. And we actually, I think, put this together. I wrote it out in Virginia City, Nevada. Is that a place? I think.
Yeah.
Like the Red Dog Saloon.
I remember that. That's
Virginia
where
City.
It's like
Bonanza. Remember they used to go there?
Bonanza.
They go to
Virginia City,
Mark Twain lived there.
Wow.
I think back in the day, the kind of before you're like back in the 60s, a lot of these folk artists moved to Southern California, and then they went up there and dropped acid and had these experiences, and all turned into psychedelic rock bands. It's like it has a super storied history there.
Oh.
And cool place. So I think I wrote a bunch of the song there. I made a recording of it at the Opera House that I put on my Patreon page. I have a Patreon page, Cruz Contreras, Patreon, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever I write new songs, I post them on there. It's kind of where I catalog them. So if someone, subscribes to it, you'll get to see what I'm always working on.
Cool.
Right.
But yeah, and then I met with Ethan and Megan in Cookeville at the home of the Cluster Pluckers. Which is,
be careful how you say that. We do have a younger audience.
Okay. The Cluster Pluckers.
You do?
This fabulous Middle Tennessee bluegrass country swing band. Chet Atkins was a big fan of them. It's actually Ethan's parents, and me and my brother grew up being acquainted with them. So it was really cool to have this full circle. 25, almost 30 years later, we went to their living room.
Wow.
And put this song together.
Cool.
Wow. All right. Well, let's hear something here. Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's give it a spin.
All right.
Time stands still. There you go.
Sometimes when you're broken, regretting words you've spoken, no future in the past, no point in chasing that, everything's in motion. Tell me what you hear. Some choose to live in fear. Inspiration all around, eternal here and now. Just let time stand still. Somewhere in the laughter, somewhere in time and space, some things forgotten, some things cannot erase. Somewhere in the distance, something you know is real. Everything's in motion. Just let time stand still. No beginning, there's no end. It's so easy to pretend. There's no hurry, there's no race. Settle into human pace. Somewhere in the laughter, somewhere in time and space, some things forgotten, some things cannot erase. Somewhere in the distance, something you know is real. Everything's in motion. Just let time stand still. Let time stand still. remember words you've spoken. Somewhere in the laughter, somewhere in time and space, some things forgotten, some things cannot erase. Somewhere in the distance, something you know is real. Everything's in motion, just let time stand. Somewhere in the laughter, somewhere in time and space, some things forgotten, some things cannot erase. Somewhere in the distance, something you know is real. Everything's in motion, just let time stand still. Let time stand still. Let time stand still.
Oh, I love that outro. It's very cerebral. Very cerebral there.
Yeah, man.
You
Matches the art well, too.
Yeah.
You feel that groove, man.
Yeah. This is a whole concept here. The artwork.
The art is the art is made by a guy from Lubbock, Texas. And we would play a venue called the Blue Light down there, which is pretty infamous on the Texas circuit. And there's this wonderful mural on the wall there of a Native American silhouette, and those blues are part of it, kind of one of the signature colors of this artist. And I met him, Briston Phillips, and I reached out to him. This was all during 2020 COVID, and we just started the conversation, and he came up with that. And so it's an original piece of art we've got there in the basement at home. Yeah.
All the more reason why, and I'm going to start advocating here, but physical music, physical CD.
I'm with you.
You know, the art and the music.
I'm with you. It's coming back around.
I hope.
Our Ella, who is 7, my stepdaughter, Molly's daughter, recently said to us, she said, I want a CD player and she said I want a CDs in a boombox.
Good for her.
Very good for her. And it's, I thought about it. Everything is so, I don't know if curated is the right word. It's not quite curated. It's kind of force fed. Your phone is showing you what it thinks you want to see and hear, and the
good point.
People want to be empowered. They want to choose what they want to listen to. And if you still go grab a vinyl or a CD, you actually get to choose what you listen to and when and how and for how long.
Exactly.
So I don't think, I think those mediums are going to stick around.
Yeah.
And I hope not.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a calling card. This is a representation.
Yeah.
And it's more than, well, here's a song, an isolated song. This, you have a sequence and they all go together. It's very conceptual.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time on that, figuring out the vinyl process. That's a whole nother world. We worked with some really great people in Nashville on this, and we went with a double vinyl to make sure that the sound quality was up to par. And what we ran, if you hear the sonic spectrum of this record, there's a lot of low end, like way low end. And so you have to have deeper grooves for that, and you need more space. So we had to go with the
and even a CD. Of course, a lot of people don't realize that a CD is a higher quality than. Of course, now they got the streaming that you sometimes you get a little more
the higher
lossless quality sound. But if you have a mastered for a CD, just like a vinyl, man, to me, I can tell a big difference. So
cool. What's next now? You're going on tour. You're working with Eric Baker.
Yeah, producing records. I'm working with Eric Baker. Yeah. I'm working with Jonathan Sexton, who said to say hi, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Just talked to him on the way over here.
Yeah,
about
I saw
that?
him. I hadn't
Okay.
saw him in forever. Gosh.
Yeah, he told me to tell you. Said, tell Billy I said hello.
And nothing for me? Nothing?
I guess
doesn't- he don't know.
they've got roots back in the same
Yeah.
Friendsville, I
All right.
think.
Yeah, his family's down near the station.
All right, I'm on the
They're
outside
from there.
looking,
Yeah.
Billy, and that's
They
okay.
go back generations, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's terrific. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're
yeah, that's the immediate
Uh-huh.
producing, and then I'll be on this Texas run, and I'll be recording with Jonathan Tyler.
Yeah.
And honestly, I got to decide what I'm even going to record now. But it's what I'm envisioning is something that's truly solo. That's like me and my guitar, me and piano, and then I'm hoping to get Cody Braun from Reckless Kelly to play some fiddle.
Terrific, yeah.
And actually, he's going to play with me at Lukenbach here.
Oh, great.
That's coming up soon.
Wow, yeah.
Might even be next week. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
And your brother, who's a renowned musician in his own right?
Yeah, I was just thinking of him because I'm
Billy?
looking at this poster over here, the Grand Ole Opry with Charlie Daniels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Charlie being the reason my brother plays the fiddle, actually.
Oh, heck.
Really?
Yeah. When Billy was maybe 5 years old, he saw the video for Devil Went Down to Georgia, and he told my mom, he's like, I want to fiddle with Sparks. Like, Mom, I want to fiddle with Sparks. So my mom signed him up for buck dance lessons, and he joined this buck dancing team.
What
It's like clogging, but it's kind of more
Okay,
flat footing.
Okay.
And he danced with this Robert Spicer down in Dixon, Tennessee. Meanwhile, while he's dancing, he's like, hey, Mom, I really want to fiddle with Sparks. So then she went and got him Suzuki violin lessons. And he's playing like a Kleenex box with a sponge on it and a rubber band or something. Like, it's not even a fiddle. He's being a good sport. Mom, I want a fiddle with Sparks. So they found him a fiddle teacher, and honestly, it wasn't long. He met Charlie Daniels actually through Buddy Spiker, his mentor.
Yeah.
And then when George Jones passed away, who Billy played with for years, they had a big show at the Bridgestone Arena, and Billy got to play with Charlie Daniels there before
Wow.
he passed away, which was
Wow.
really cool.
Wow.
So maybe a Contreras Brothers album.
Absolutely. It's in the next, it's probably I'm losing track. It's maybe the third project from now.
Okay,
It'll be a
because
duo.
we
Yeah,
talked
Contreras
about
Brothers
that
for sure.
previously. Yeah.
Yeah, Billy and I have been talking about this for a couple of years now, and it's just, finding the time. I think if I do the solo thing, the duo thing could be next, actually.
Wow. So you have your future planned out for
I'm
a
trying.
while here.
I've got the pieces on the table. I'm trying to figure out how to present them because I'm getting ready to release a live Black Lilies record.
Oh, really?
It's live from the Tennessee Theater in 2013 for
Wow.
our Runaway Freeway Blues. It was sold out hometown show, and it's already up on Bandcamp right now. So it was a miracle that the recording even still existed. It was total chance that I even found out about it and spent a bunch of time making it sound as good as possible.
When will that come out?
Like I said, so people...
We need a timeline for all these projects here.
I made it available on Bandcamp, I think like New Year's Eve, just like no warning, just dropped it. And, it's a funny business. I could put it out on Spotify and make nothing, or I can
what's the
sell a
point?
few records on Bandcamp and like pay my bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So but we will be releasing that to, make it more readily available here soon. So there's that release. I don't know. I'm running out of.
And are these all on your own label, under your own aegis?
Yeah,
here?
this is Cosmico Records.
Okay.
Yep. So that's part of the effort here as well.
What's your, is Billy, sorry, Billy.
Go.
So you got your
Yeah.
brother.
I know it's confusing. We got a lot of Billies
I'm
here.
Billy.
He's confused. He's
I was going to say
himself again.
your website, I guess, just cruisecontreras.com, or is that what you got?
Yeah, it is. CruiseContreras.com.
okay,
I believe.
awesome.
Gosh, I hope so. I think that's it.
Yeah, you better check.
Sometimes you got to add a music to this or that, but I think my actual website is just CruiseContreras.com.
Okay, well, if it's not, I'll edit that out and change it.
It'll have some tour dates on there and, different. It'll probably have links to Bandcamp where you can find Cosmico, vinyl, CD. You can find Lost Tennessee, the live Black Lilies from the Tennessee Theater.
Yes.
And I'll be re-releasing some new music coming up as well, because I just had a bunch of the Black Lilies music taken down, unfortunately, recently.
Are there any unreleased Black Lilies other than the live music? Is there any studio tracks that have never come out before?
There's a box somewhere that's missing.
A box that's...
Giant box missing. I saved them. Someone got a hold of them. I don't know where they're at. Really? If you're out there and you know of where they're at, please find it in your, I'm sure, very warm heart to return them to me.
Well, they might hold it for ransom. Let's hope not.
Oh, that's probably... good.
Oh, yes. Well, I think before we go, let's just hear another song from the album, Road That Has No End.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like it'd be very representative of...
definitely at that time. Probably.
Well, the road that you're describing has no end.
This road has no end. Yeah. You don't really want the road to have too much of an end.
No, of course not.
But this is the one song on the record that's just basically solo. It's me singing, playing acoustic guitar, and there's a few light additions, and then we have this space jam at the end. Ethan Ballinger called me, one of the producers, and he was like, "Hey, we have the song. We need something to add basically at the end." And I right away I was like, "I've got it." And I'd been holding on to this cassette recording of my great grandma, Linda Wire, from 1995, which sounds like not too long ago, but
yeah, not to me. It doesn't sound like long ago at all.
That was 30 years at the time.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And she was born in 1899, lived to be 99, almost lived to see 3 centuries.
Wow.
And we lived in a small town called Bridgman. Bridgman's a family last name. And then we named my son Bridgman to kind of honor that history. But when I would walk home from school, I would pass close by my grandma's house, and I'd stop by, and she would make me hot chocolate, ginger snaps, and if I stayed long enough, she would make homemade beef stroganoff.
Wow.
Which to this day is the best thing I've ever had in my life. So I took a cassette recorder there, and she told me stories about her childhood and our family and life. And so we superimposed her voice at the end of this song. If you hear someone saying, "Cruzy, when we were kids," that's her.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
And then this also includes Ethan's grandparents, who are in the Idaho Music Hall of Fame, and then Fraser Moss, who's a Middle Tennessee fiddle player from Gainesboro, Cookeville area, that me and my brother grew up with, kind of playing with. He was part of the Cluster Pluckers at a time. So
you say that very well, thank you. We don't want any fumble, no mumble mouth on that word.
Rolls right off his tongue.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we'll get a spin here. Okay.
3.
I've been listening to the rhythm of my own drum back since day one, trying to keep time like everyone. I've got my own way of looking at the world. It ain't a big deal. Everyone wonders how they should feel. Was told there ain't no use in fitting in. Now I believe them. Playing a game not meant to win. Looking at the mountains, I see hills to climb. Let's take our time. Just beyond the clouds, there is sunlight. Let's take that ride. Traveling the road that has no end. I guess I've never been one for the easy way. I could not stay. Know that I loved you then like I love you today. Been searching for the answer since I was young. That can't be undone. The only way to learn was to be burned. Looking at the mountains, I see hills to climb. Let's take our time all the way down. Standing by the ocean, I see boats to sail. We might meet a whale riding away. Just beyond the clouds there is sunlight. Let's take that ride, traveling the road that has no end. La da da dee la da da da, la da da dee da da, la da da dee la da dee da, la da da dee da da. Someday you'll look back and wonder, who did you serve? Did they deserve? Then you'll look back and you'll realize every step led to where you were. Looking at the mountains, I see hills to climb. Let's take our time. Just beyond the clouds there is sunlight. Let's take that ride, traveling the road that has no end. Traveling the road that has no end. Traveling the road that has no end.
Or we'll quit and let it play.
It comes on every once in a while.
Now there's a whole lot more. There's a whole lot more music than a lot of people realize it is.
You did so much and then that was enough. And I just want to tell you how much we love you and how much we think of you. You had a very good life. I've had a lot of nice things happen to me, the bad ones, but the good thing outdid the bad things. You had a very good life.
That's beautiful.
Wow, man.
That is so
Thank
beautiful.
you.
A treasure to capture that, man.
Yeah. It's really puts you in a spell.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it once in a while.
Yeah. Well, Cruz, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks
I
for
say
having
that.
me.
You know,
Yeah,
I
man,
consider
thanks.
you a friend.
Thank
and,
you. Thank you, Lee. Thank you,
and
Billy.
a very polite
Appreciate it.
rock star. I mean, they should have a separate category in Billboard, the different charts. You know, you're number one on the Billboard polite rock star
Light
chart
rock star. That's a nice balance.
It is. It is. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
For being here.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it. And we'll take us out of here. But yeah, you can find Cruz at cruzcontreras.com.
That's it. Exactly.
And we'll put it in the show notes there too. So big thanks to Cruz Contreras and our host, Lee Zimmerman. Check out Lee's new book, 30 Years Behind the Glass, Jim Gaines, now available on Amazon. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to My Backstage Pass on your favorite platform. And we'll see y'all next time. Happy trails.
Bye-bye.
Luego.